we're gonna get started in a moment. We'll just introduce a few people first. People that you already know. Ellie Sharp, say hi.
Hello, guys. Welcome to HaTorah. Welcome to Israel.
It's amazing. I told my kids I went to Montreal today, and now I'm going on my way to Boston. They were so impressed.
Crazy.
What about Aviel? Aviel, so give a nice warm welcome.
All right. We're looking forward to showing you guys around Lave. It's going to be great. This is great because it's on Zoom, so you guys can really see what goes on here, all the places that we are during the day.
In addition to the two guys you know, there are two guys that you may not know. One is Ethan Fallenbaum, who's this year at HaTorah. He's from Montreal. Ethan, introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Ethan. I'm from Montreal. I'm from Hebrew Academy, and I'm here to show you guys the yeshiva.
Awesome. And I also felt it would be great for you to hear from an alumnus. So we have not so far from you in Toronto, Yakir Magensi. Yakir, come and say hi.
What's up? I'm Yakir Magensi. And yeah, I went to Orchaim.
Great. So we're gonna get started at this point. I think we have a very long list of guys here. First of all, thank you for checking out the yeshiva. HaTorah, it's a very laid back place, and we're very open. We're very friendly and warm and welcoming. So too on the Zoom will be the same way, and that's why I've got the guys here to really welcome you and make you feel at home. We actually just had, since the beginning of the year, we had more or less lockdown, that we didn't let the guys go out for Shabbos until this past Shabbos. So we let them go, and we had an extended weekend. So the guys, I don't know, Ellie, where did you go?
I went to Shoham for Shabbos, and then I've been going back and forth to Yerushalayim.
Beautiful.
Just from Beit Shemesh.
And you, Aviel, where are you at?
I've been all over. So I was I stayed in Beit Shemesh at some friend's house for Shabbos, and I've been in Tel Aviv, Yerushalayim, and a couple different places over the course of the last few days.
Wonderful, wonderful. So what we did is we were on throughout Sukkot because there was a lockdown in the country. So we didn't have any Ben Izmanim. So we gave them like a mini Ben Izmanim now. So they went out, they enjoyed, they got some fresh air, and now they're back in Yeshiva, Bezrat Hashem. So looking forward to continuing this man now. I just want to say by word of introduction, HaTorah is really a place where you feel at home. Bli Ayin Har, we've been growing from year to year. We once started off in the basement of a yeshiva and of a shul, and now Baruch Hashem we have our own large and expanding campus. And but we have never changed our orientation, which is to be just a family. When you come to HaTorah, you're not just coming to a yeshiva for the year, you're coming to a family for a lifetime. And I'll start off by just introducing again Yakir Magensi, he's an alumnus of ours. He was HaTorah last year, supposed to be Shanabet this year. For COVID reasons, he didn't return yet, but maybe in the second half of the year, we'll see. But maybe Yakir, just from, I'll let the other guys speak, but you have a year more perspective than them, just about what HaTorah means as this family aspect, this idea of joining a family at HaTorah.
This is definitely something that's going to be addressed by the other guys too, because it's impossible to mention HaTorah and not mention this. But I think the biggest thing that stands out from HaTorah from every other yeshiva is how nice the guys are. It's just like the warmest environment you've ever been in your entire life. It's just everyone's so welcoming to anything that you want to try out. It's really just a year of like new experiences, which is basically what Israel is. And in an environment where everyone is so nice and accepting, you can really just figure yourself out and just figure out all these things that like you went to Israel to do. And the second you get there, there's no pressure. The rabbis are very welcoming, and they never force you really to do anything ever, but they're encouraging. And that helps the people grow, and it helps people kind of stay at the level that they want. And it's just an amazingly like warm place. And I'm telling you right now that you're never going to be in an environment with nicer guys in your entire life. And I'm sure the other guys are going to touch upon this also, because it's such a common thing when you mention HaTorah. But really, 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 like when it comes to growth, you need to be in a place where like you're not going to be judged for it, and you can try out new things, and like people aren't going to be looking at you weird or making comments. And in a place with the nicest guys in the entire world, like that makes it extremely, extremely easy and possible. And I don't know where else you could get that other than HaTorah.
Aviel, I saw you nodding your head, so maybe you can build on what he said. and tell us about, I don't know who's in your room, who are your roommates, where they're from. Maybe talk about like how everyone's from different places.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I was nodding my head to was this Lave has the best guys thing. This is like lots of yeshivas have like their own kind of stereotype sort of, and the thing that circulates around Lave the most is that like Lave just has like the best guys, and you make like really good friends when you get here. It's like 100% true. It's not, this isn't like some kind of made up whatever. It's like absolutely true. Within like weeks of getting here, even during like quarantine, I've been able to make like so many great friends. They're 90, I think they're over 90 Shana Aleph kids this year. Been able to make friends with so many. So that's what I was nodding my head to. In terms of like the type of people here, there are people from all over. I've been meeting people from all over the US, obviously Canada, England. One of our madrichim is from Australia. There are lots of different people here, and what's great is that even though there are a lot of kids from Maimo who are here, it's not, there are enough guys and enough diversity of people that are here that it makes it very easy to branch out and make friends with other people. So you guys know Jeremy Rosenbaum and Jeremy Zarch, Jay-Z and Jerome. They're both in my apartment. But there are also lots of other guys who live with us, and we've made very good friends with the guys who are in our apartment, not just between the three of us. So that's just that speaks to like what Boaz was saying before, like this promotion of like of family and community that we all get here. It's very, very strong. And it sounds cliche, like, oh, like this yeshiva, like we promote community, we promote family, but like it's very much, you feel it the second that you get here. It's very, very community and family oriented. It's a very, very warm and fantastic environment to be in, like making friends and to learn in with Rebbeim.
Ethan, maybe you can introduce yourself again. Tell us where you are. I want to use the disadvantage of not being there physically as an advantage. So I'd like you to see the campus while we're on this Zoom. So please, Ethan.
Right. So again, my name's Ethan Fallenbaum. I'm from Montreal, Canada. I went to Hebrew Academy, and I'm here at HaTorah for Shana Aleph. I've been having an amazing time. Honestly, I'm so happy and grateful to have this opportunity to come learn in Israel for a year. So I'm right outside the basketball court right now. I'm gonna put in the code. There's a couple kids playing because we just came back from a trip. So everyone's either coming back, and these are the kids, I guess, who were here before. So let me flip the camera. So this beautiful court all over here. It's a full court. We can get 5-on-5s at night. You can play half court. You can play 3-on-3s, whatever you want. Nice HaTorah logo in the middle. There's the college 3 over here. And then there's the high school 3 over here. We also got bleachers all around, and it gets very nice on Saturday nights. We get Saturday nights, I would say, is the most popular night for basketball. We get amazing runs. It's nice after a long day of learning to come, and stretch your legs, play ball with your friends, and it actually does get competitive at times. Actually gets really competitive, actually. But other than that, it's a beautiful place to come and play after learning. So really grateful that we have this facility. It's nice.
Great, wonderful. So while you go to the next location, I'm gonna put Ellie Sharf on the spot. One of the questions was asked, how does HaTorah differ from other yeshivas in terms of its educational methods or philosophies? I know what I would answer, but I'll ask you, Ellie, to answer that.
Definitely. So I think there's definitely a huge diversity of students, classes, and teachers here. I mean, everything is crazy, from the students that wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to the students that go to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. That kind of gives you back to the family idea that there's always everyone here. There's always someone that you can meet up with that's exactly like you. And the same thing goes to the Rebbeim and the classes. Each rabbi has their own, they all have their different ideas and different philosophies, and they bring them into their classes in a very warm way. They bring in everyone together, and it's just amazing. Because if you're either a Tanakh guy or a Talmud guy or a philosophy guy, there's always something here for you, no matter what it is.
Great, wonderful. And that touches a point, the diversity is a real motif in Lev Torah. It's not just diversity of the guys that come, but this what's studied and the types of rebbeim that are here. We have 28 rebbeim, and if I could have it my way, I'd have 70 rebbeim because there's 70 facets of Torah. You want to represent all the different facets of Torah. So one Rebbe, he's a Baki in Shas, he knows Shas Baal Peh. Another Rebbe, he's a posek. Another Rebbe is a Jewish philosopher. Everything he does is Jewish philosophy. And another Rebbe, he's more into mysticism and Kabbalah. One Rebbe is all about Chesed. Rav Machlis is like a man of the Avram Avinu, all about Chesed. And another Rebbe about Eretz Yisrael. We have one Rebbe, Rav Leibowitz, one of you mentioned. He's like a master of Musar. And another one who's a Tanakh. He writes books on Tanakh for Magid Press and teaches in high level Tanakh classes in university. So you have all different rebbeim, everyone representing a different aspect of Torah, which I think in terms of philosophical education, our philosophy is to give as much as we can, as many different types of learning as possible, so everyone has their entry point into their connection with Torah. For some people, it's going to be sitting down and breaking their head over Tosfos, and other people, it's going to be going through all of Tanakh. For some people, they'll find a tremendous joy in Mishnah, and other people really enjoy the halacha or Jewish philosophy or understanding tefillah. Everyone is different, so you're going to find your entry. For some people, it's not so much the learning, it's more of the taking the Torah to life and doing chesed. We have many, many chesed opportunities for the guys. And for other people, they're going to really connect through the connection of Eretz Yisrael. We have, in addition, over the years, we had guys who did the army. We wound up starting a program for the Shanabek guys, a lone soldier program, for them to do the army via the yeshiva. That we wound up becoming a yeshiva Hesder through this program. And now we have guys who are Shir Dalet and Shir Hey who've done the army, and they're back in yeshiva. 8 of them are Madrichim this year. So Baruch Hashem, we have so many different ways to connect, and that's our educational philosophy. For us, what's important, the most important thing is for you guys to find what it is that lights your inner fire. What is it that gets you excited and passionate about Judaism? When you find that and develop that, our goal is that you not only develop that and find it for yourself, but you learn it to share it with the world and to influence the world to be a better place through that. Yakir, you want to say anything about that? From your perspective,
I think you pretty much said it all, Rav. But yeah, no, it's 1,000% true. There's just such diversity within Lev Torah that it really makes it such an easy place for you to find something and really hold on to. Because throughout the year, like you're gonna experience different like highs, lows, new experiences, old experiences in a new mindset, and there's really just you really just want someone to share it with that like kind of feels the same thing as you. And in Lev Torah, because of the diversity that Robo just spoke about, it's really easy to kind of connect with someone and reflect with somebody, and really just find your kind of learning and your rabbi, like I know a lot of my family friends, like including my brother-in-law actually, brought one of their rebbeim to their wedding, and to see that from like the yeshiva, it's like a really nice thing. And like, I always looked for that while I was in yeshiva, because that's like always what I saw. And it's really amazing that you go somewhere for a year or 2 or however many years you guys want to go. And immediately like you want that person at your wedding because of how connected you guys got throughout the year. And that's what comes with diversity in Lev Torah. And I think it's an amazing, amazing thing.
For me, it's very important that the guys are comfortable, that they're happy, that everything that we do in Lev Torah, we try to be a 10 in everything. So whether it's the learning and the rebbeim that we have, the students that we choose that are a 10 in Menschlichkeit, or whether it is the facilities that we have. So Aviel, you're standing outside your dorm now, is that where you are? So maybe give us a little tour.
Sure. So right now I'm on my Mirpeset, my balcony. So I'll show you guys what that looks like right now. Right here, as you'll see, we have right off of here, this is kind of like the view of where our balcony is. Right here is the front of Lev Torah. If you can see, that's like the other side of Beit Shemesh, all the way down there, those lights, which is pretty cool. And also, if you come on over here, we have this really big, nice brand new like rooftop type thing. And if you go to the corner where I'm pointing my camera over there, every night you can see the sunset from that corner like perfectly. It's actually like a beautiful, beautiful spot. So sometimes like guys will like get food, we'll get food and like set up chairs out here, eat. We have like special events that go on over here. So that's where the Merpeset is from my apartment. Now I'll take you inside. One second. So right here, this is the entrance to the apartment right here. This is our door. And then over here, we have this little kitchen area. So we have a fridge over here, we have a sink, then a little hot water over here, some pots and pans. And then this is our table. Some guys just got back from shopping, so there's stuff on the table over here. Here's some friends, there's Jerome. Now I'll take you over here. There's a hallway and this leads to the room. So we have a bathroom over here, and then here is a room over here. So it's kind of messy because everyone's just getting back from vacation. But so there are 4 beds here. There's Jay-Z. There's my friend Jacob Alstein. We've got lots of closet space over here. There's a shelf over there. And then here is the window. And then there's another room over here. And then my room is over there. The door's closed. But yeah, so this is what a typical apartment looks like. Usually in every room, there's plenty of room in every room. There's about 4, usually 4, sometimes 5 beds in each room in the apartment, which makes like 12, 13 guys per apartment. There's a lot of space here. It never really feels like you're really, except for during quarantine, but it never really feels like you're stuck in your room with too many people. There's a lot of space for everyone, especially given like pretty much every apartment has access to like a big porch, a big merpeset. So, you know, if you just want to get outside, get a breath of fresh air, you can step outside there. We have chairs, and there are chairs in every apartment that surrounds the table that every apartment has. So there's room for us to like bring food up and eat. Yeah, it's a great setup for living.
Thank you. You could show us the mega porch afterwards. You can walk there. In the meantime,
yeah, sure.
I'm just relating to questions that were asked. One of the questions was, do you feel it's difficult to go from Beit Shemesh to Yerushalayim to see friends from other yeshivot? And on that note, is there an immersive Israel experience and not just a yeshiva experience? So 2 things. Beit Shemesh is not far from Yerushalayim. There are buses every 5-10 minutes. Yakir, how long does it take to go from Beit Shemesh to Yerushalayim?
Just as fast as most of the guys in Jerusalem, even.
That's right. So it's very easy to get there. It's not an issue at all. This year, all yeshivas are experiencing challenges in travel because of the situation. Bezrat Hashem, that'll all be cleared up by next year, and that shouldn't be an issue at all. In terms of Eretz Yisrael and the Israeli experience, I would say out of any American yeshiva, we are probably the most immersive into Israeli culture and society. We are a Hesder yeshiva. We're the only American yeshiva that's a Hesder yeshiva. We have an Israeli kollel. And our focus on Eretz Yisrael is very, very serious. Like we go on more tiulim than any other yeshiva program. There may be some programs out there that are not yeshiva programs that do even more than us, but in terms of a yeshiva program, we are very heavily, one of the pillars in which HaTorah stands is Eretz Yisrael. And we have probably the best program director of any yeshiva. The amount of things that we do is ridiculous, and we're always in the forefront. Like we're the first yeshiva that went to Hebron this year. Actually, since Corona hit last year, no groups have gone. When we went to Hebron, they were like, "Wow, you're the first group that we've had ever." Like since we can remember. We went to the Golan for 5 days on a 5-day retreat because for us to connect, it's not only connecting to the land, but the people there. So when we're in Hebron, we spoke with the spokesman of Hebron. We spoke with the #1 tour guide of Hebron. We're up in the Golan, we had the spokesman of the Golan. We spoke with people who live there, with a bereaved mother who was there, with a tour guide who was from the place that we stayed. And we made sure to connect to the people of the Golan. So for us, becoming part of Eretz Yisrael is really a motif of the yeshiva. Maybe, does anybody, Ethan, you want to say something about that? You're still here? Ethan?
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead, Ethan. Can you speak?
Yeah, just Rabbi speaking right now. Sorry, Rob, what was the question?
No, just about the connection to Eretz Yisrael and the yeshiva. Do you feel like you're just in this bubble and you don't have anything to do with Israel, or you feel like there's a part of
Yeah, not at all. I really appreciate every teal that I know. Um, all the Rebbeim work really hard to take us on, and the truth is that I feel the special things about the Tiulim is that they're each specifically like kind of calculated in a way to make us in the, let's say it's a day Tiul, so in that, I don't know, 6 hour of Tiul, to have like the most out of that region of Israel. So for example, when we went to Hebron for the, like Rev was talking about, we literally, I felt like had, you know, been in Hebron for, I don't know, 5 years, because we kind of experienced the location in a way where it was an embodiment of what it actually stood for. So I guess we're really lucky to have these many Tiulim, but even luckier to have these Tiulim in a way where like we really can take into account how special the place really is.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. What you heard in the background, Nadav, was Rabbi Kwalwasser, your cousin. He was back there giving a shir. Very nice. Any questions before we go a little further and talk maybe about the schedule? Does anybody have any questions? Just raise your hand. You know, do a little emoji, a reaction, and I'll be happy to take any questions at this point. I see Ariel Greenberg has a friend. Oh, he's going. Okay, anybody?
His computer isn't working, so I want him to hear about HaTorah. So I'm with him.
You are the best. So there's a question that was asked. Do you teach the halachot of visiting Har Bayit and visit as a group Har Bayit? So that's a very charged issue. I'll tell you, my personal hashkafa is that I think it's great for us to show presence on Har Bayit, but I've never been because my Rebbe told me that we're not supposed to go on Har Bayit. So I don't take the yeshiva based on that psak, although I would really, hashkafically, I think it's a great thing to do. But me personally, I haven't been there. Any other questions? Where do the kids come from? Okay, Ellie, where are your roommates from? Your apartment mates?
So my roommates, funnily, so I have both Liran and Gavril, who are also Boston boys, in my room. But then I definitely, in the apartment, is very diverse. I have 2 Canadians, one boy from Chicago and one from New Jersey, but he boards at Kushner, and lives in Florida. But my apartment is one of the smallest, definitely one of the bigger apartments, just a huge mix of kids from all over the US, all over North America.
Ethan, where are your roommates from?
So I have 2 boys from Manchester, very nice boys. And I have a couple Toronto kids. And I also, I have an Australian Madrid, Ori Moscow. Yeah.
Aviel, where are your roommates from? Yakir, you're next. Aviel.
We have roommates from all over. So the people in my room, my specific room, 2 of them are from New York and one of them is from Seattle. And then in the rest of the apartment, there are people from also from New York. There is one who actually lives here, Zev, who lives in Israel. He lives like right down the block from us. So from there, a lot. So in my apartment, we have like 4 from New York, 1 from Chicago. So Chicago, New York, Israel, awesome. Seattle.
And last year, Yakir, where were your apartment mates from?
So my room was 1 Toronto, 1 Chicago / Texas. He lived in Texas, but he moved. His family moved during the year. And 1 New Jersey, and then in the apartment there was 2 Chicago, another Toronto, another New Jersey, and Jack Goodman was always in my room. I know you guys know him, so.
Nice. So I don't know if there's any other yeshiva which has as such a diverse population. We really literally have from any places a Jewish high school and many places without a Jewish high school. I got to go from Virginia this year. No Jewish high school over there. You know, we have guys from literally all over. What else? The next one. Can you describe the machal option instead of Hesder? Yeah, guys, we have a program called Lev L'Chayal. You don't have to do all of Hesder to do it. Guys who stay Shana Bet, they draft in March and they go in for a year and a half. If they join Hesder, they stay for Shir Dalet and Shir Hey, like we have 15 guys like that. And if they want, they don't have to continue. And a number of guys don't continue, they just do the Machal option, and then they're done after their service. If that answers that question. Any other questions, guys, before we go on? Okay, you probably want to see the schedule, so I'm going to share the screen. Here we go. Whoa, do you see that? Okay, I'll just go through it. This is the campus from an overview. There's a new building over here. Yakir, you don't know this building. This is a beautiful, beautiful building for the Lev L'Chayal guys, because those people are external who are in the army now. They're not allowed in the building this year. So we built a whole new building for them for Shabbatot, to daven and to eat, because those guys, they're with us the whole time. We have another building over here. We have the main entrance over here, which is different in the last year. Someone's trying to do some get in, I think. Don't know. And then we have the basketball court over here. This is the big mirpeset, the big mega porch, some guys call it. It's a grand terrace, which Aviel, I think, is standing on right now. He's going to show it to us soon. And then that's not where I put this here. This is the community, which we spoke about before. The rabbis live all right near the yeshiva. In most yeshivas, the rabbis live, in Beit Shemesh, and then they drive to Yerushalayim, and then they afterwards go back home. Here, this is their home, which is a tremendous advantage, and you can't really imagine how much this advantage. Yakir spoke about that earlier. Here's the building again, basketball court again. The guys from all over the different places. Hey, there's Yakir. And Eretz Yisrael, we mentioned, but just to go a little bit more detail, we have a 3-day Golan trip. This year was 5 days, 3 days in the Galil, a day in the Shomron, where we look at the Makoros and Tanakh, and then we go visit those places, Tanakh tiuls. We have many tiulim in Yerushalayim, and we have in Midbar Yehuda a 2-day trip, and down south pretty soon, 3 days in Eilat. And it's really, really amazing. There's no area in Israel we don't go to. We really discover it all. This is the schedule, which many of you may be interested in seeing. So there are 3 starim, like every classic yeshiva. The morning is Gemara Be'iyun. We have 6 different levels. There are 3 tracks, a beginners, intermediates, and advanced track. And the guys really, really have options. And each track is very, very different in terms of the level. But within each track, we have 2 shirim. So there's 6 different levels, 6 different shirim. So the guys can find the level and the personality of Rebbe that they can connect to. Guys can freely switch it in between shirim, but usually they wind up in a shir and they're very, very happy, and they don't really switch from that shir. In the afternoon, there are many, many things during the break, a very handsome break between 1 and 3:30. A lot of guys learn during that time with Rebbeim in the base medrash or the Kolol guys. We have a Kolol, an Israeli Kolol that learns. A lot of guys want to learn Hebrew. They learn with those Israeli guys in Hebrew in the base medrash. Then we have Mincha at 3:30. We'll show you the workout room pretty soon. Does anybody want to get down to the workout room? And we have the basketball court you saw. In the afternoon, we have 3 slots. The first slot, you could do halacha or machshava, that's Jewish philosophy. Again, many different options for that. And in the second slot, there's project-based learning. Ellie, maybe you could tell us something about the independent study. What do you do during that time?
Yeah, so during the independent study, I've been doing Parsha and doing Rashi with that. But before that, so I just started that very recently, this past week or 2 weeks ago. Before that, I was reading a philosophy book, kind of bringing science and Torah together, which is really fascinating, kind of discussing the challenges maybe that you could have, that science could have against Torah, really with Breshit, which I think you guys did last year with Rabbi E. And it's really just interesting to kind of learn, see what we did with Maimo, and kind of bring that together in a whole new world with the science challenges and kind of the rebukes to why, no, the Torah still holds up.
Very nice. So everybody does something else. Some people do another Masechet of Gemara. Some guys go through Tanakh. Other guys do Halacha. You have a slot that's just for you. I just wanted to see some of the comments here. So I just want to, Rabbi Durrani asks if you still have the tradition to slaughter a korban for barbecue in the basketball court. It's not exactly a korban. It's just we do shchita. On Thursday afternoons, we have something called Torah Chaim seminars, where we want to give anything we can't get into the formal study. So we'll go through Jewish history in a flash. We have this guy that comes by, goes through all of Jewish history in an hour and a half. and it's quite remarkable. And we do things that you won't do. You'll never really see a shechita in your life. You never learn the halachas of shechita. So we do one on the old basketball court. We have a second basketball court, the smaller one, and so we do that over there. So the answer is yes, Rabbi Durrani, we do. Is there a soccer field? The basketball field has goals and can turn into a soccer field as well. So that answers that question. And I'll show the schedule again. I just wanted to see what the comments were there. So one moment, and we're back in the schedule. Okay, and that's the second slot. The third slot, Torah Time Seminar, is over here. The third slot over here is electives. The guys, every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, there are 3 electives. Maybe Aviel, what electives do you take?
Yeah, absolutely. So on Sunday and Monday, I'm in a dating and I'm in like a halachic dating and marriage class, which is incredibly interesting with Rav Paltiel. So that's what I do on Sundays and Mondays. On Tuesday and Wednesday, I have a class. It's a very interesting class / group, which is basically a very small group of like 9 guys, where we get together twice a week and we talk about looking at the world and looking at our own personal self growth through the lens of halacha, through the lens of just having kavanah during davening or something like that. It's very like Jewish, very interesting. And then on Thursdays, I take a class with I take a class which is like Jewish history through the lens of Kabbalah, which is very, very interesting, with Rav Gerzi, who was the rabbi that Rav Boaz was talking about earlier, who's more interested in like Kabbalah, mysticism type stuff. So all 3 of my electives were things that I chose at the beginning of the year that I thought would be interesting, and I really, really enjoy every single one of them. And yeah, what's great about the electives is that there are very, very wide range of different rabbis that teach different classes. So if you find that at some point during your beginning to Lev Torah, you find yourself connecting to a rabbi and you find him to be interesting to learn from or in some way, you have the ability to take an elective and have a class scheduled once or twice every single week to learn with him, which is really great.
Great. Yakir, what you remember what was your favorite elective when you were in Lev Torah?
So I actually took the dating and marriage one also. I remember I really liked that. I think another one that I took was with Rav Paltiel, which was like something of the soul. I forget.
Journeys of the Soul.
Journeys of the Soul, yeah. And I actually happen to not be a big sciencey person. So it was really weird that I really, really enjoyed that. But it was talking about the different, like, it brought up some really cool topics. Like if later in the future, like they made it so science can, like modern medicine will allow you to do like brain transplants, like would that make you that person, and just different like topics like that. And it was really cool, controversial. Rav Paltiel is an absolute genius, and I really, really enjoyed that elective.
Ellie, what are your electives?
So on Sunday and Monday, I do contemporary halacha, which is really interesting. I think last time we just learned about whether or not you can eat locust, or the chocolate-covered locust that you see at the grocery store. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, I do Rashi and Regalah, which is very fun and tastes pretty good too. And then Thursday, I have a sort of philosophical medi type of very Kabbalah elective, which I find super interesting because I've never seen anything like it, with an amazing rabbi, Rav Gerzi, which I really enjoy.
Fair. And you, Ethan, what are your electives? Your 3 electives?
So my electives for Sunday and Monday, it's Untold Tales of Tanakh with the Tanakh specialist, Rav Beasley. He literally goes over the stories that are kind of, I wouldn't want to say like neglected, but kind of pushed off in a way, and the stories in Tanakh that are not as popular as others, and really go into depth in that. And we see, we kind of also compare the different events that happen in the Tanakh to really get a more complete understanding, of it. Then after that, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I have the elective, the Chesed class with Rav Machlis, which is.
I guess you're not allowed to talk about Rav Machlis. Ramachlis is one of the 36 tzaddikim in the world, and one of Lamed Vavnikim.
Over.
There we go. We didn't hear you. We just talk about Ramachlis. He's like the most
Yeah.
incredible person you may ever meet in your life.
Yeah. So yeah, I have that class, the Chesed class. It's teaches us mitzvah ben adam lechavero, and really how to take what you learn and kind of implement it in your everyday life to become a better and more genuine, complete person. And you're really learning from, I would say, the best person on the planet to really learn it from. So I'm very happy to take that class as well.
Great. And Night Seder, you have choice of Gemara options or non-Gemara options. There's a class of Tefillah Be'iyun. There's a class on more halachic topics. There's a class that's a little more philosophical. There's a Tanakh class at night as well. You could do Tanakh Be'iyun a little bit more in depth with Rabbi Beasley again. So you have really a lot of options throughout the day in pretty much every topic under the sun. And that's the breadth and the depth that you get at Leva Torah. So I'll ask you the question. Sal, you're like the first one to come on. So you've been here the longest. What are you looking for next year, in your year?
Probably, I think the three main ideas, I guess, I'd be looking for conceptually in yeshiva would be obviously having a good time, learning a lot, and having a good chevra. And obviously that's a bit generic, but I feel like and obviously learning and that stuff, religiosity and everything. But I think those are the three that stand out.
Aviel, do you think, Aviel, that he can get those at Leva Torah?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing that comes to mind, like the first thing that pops into my head that connects with me is like Chevra wise, Lev, like it's the community mindset, not just in terms of the Shana Aleph kids here, but with Shana Bet, with people from the Kola, with Madrichim, with even from the rabbis that live around here. There's really not much like it anywhere else. Like the fact that we have Rebbeim that live so close to us makes them very, very readily available during the day. And the great thing about that is that rabbis are here like so often, all day, every day. I learn with multiple rabbis every week during different times of the week, one-on-one, because they're just here during certain times of the day when I have off, because they live like right down the road. So one of the great aspects of having this community is that like the rabbis are able to come and they're here all day. We can go to we just recently were able to go to one of our rabbis for Shabbos dinner. And Chevra wise, it's just like this again. The Lev stereotype is that like the best guys come here. When we were up in the Golan, we were having like a little bonfire singing thing Saturday night, which was, by the way, totally student facilitated. None of the rabbis were even there for us when we started it. And something that I thought was really, really amazing was that everybody, we were all just kind of talking about how we all ended up here. And one of the common things that was like with everybody who was talking was that people came here because they wanted to, because they hear that the best guys come here. And like, what's amazing about that is that you end up here and you find out through something like that we're all here looking for each other. Like it's like almost, it's like I don't have the words to describe how amazing the Chevra is here, how amazing the community, how community oriented, how family oriented it is. It's just like, it's amazing.
A question was asked about like the tefillot. If there are Spartan, do they have a minyan for Spartan? So every year we always have, it's the main midrash is an Ashkenazi minyan, but we do have Spartan on Shabbat. They have their own tefillah. If they're more Spartan, then we'd have a tefillah every single day as well. So it really all depends. It depends on the year. We have a class for Sfaradim from a Sephardi rabbi. There are 2 Sephardi rabbis, and I myself am Yemenite. I'm like Rabbi Durrani. We're from the same tribe, and so we don't have a Yemenite minyan, but we do have a Sephardi minyan on Shabbat and for Yom Nurim as well. There could be a Sephardi minyan every day. It depends on how many guys there are in that given year. Thank you very, very much, guys. You've been great. Yona Suisa, whoever asked, sends regards. And it was really, really nice connecting with you guys. We look forward to hearing from you and seeing many of you next year, Bezrat Hashem. All the best. We love Maimonides. Take care, guys.